Yo, what up, people? This is Brian Fulford. That's A.D. Drew. And welcome to this little thing that we're going to call Summer Shorts, where A.D. and I, hopefully it'll be A.D. and I for as many times as we can do it, are going to kind of get together and do a daily kind of look at a particular news story and just drop our 2 cents. Maybe something that maybe we haven't seen really talked about on other shows, or maybe it's something that we talked about offline and we just wanted to kind of put out there in the open space. This is a safe space. So, some of the topics and things we may talk about may be sensitive to other ears, may be sensitive to your ears. So if you offend easily, or you don't like language sometimes that can be a little offensive, this may not be the summer short for you, because sometimes we're going to talk about some stuff that we may not talk about on our regular shows. And even though, Drew, we talk and have a 2-hour show, you would never believe that there are things that we just want to talk about for maybe a little bit longer. Am I right on that?
You hit it on the head on that one, my brother.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some things.
I just got. I'm gonna try not to cuss on this one, Brian.
I think cussing should be allowed. I think for this, because we talked about trying to possibly, this may become something that we do on a regular. If you guys like this kind of thing, maybe we add it to our subscription feed. We're gonna do it all summer. So I mean, we've got 8 weeks to try to test it out on you guys, and you guys let us know if you like it or not, and we'll go there. But I think cussing should be allowed. So I mean, within the context. I mean, don't just go all George Carlin just because. But I mean, you don't. I don't feel like you have to censor yourself.
Gotcha.
How's that? That sound good?
I got you, man.
All right. So first topic for show number 1. And before, I guess I got to do the plugs. I always do the plugs. My BCSN 1, the number 1, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure you're following me and Drew on our Twitter pages. Hopefully you like the new intro for the summer shorts. I thought that was pretty dope. Some nice new music. Hopefully your speakers are still intact, because there's a lot of bass in that intro, Drew. There's a lot of bass in that thing, man.
Let it do what it do, man.
And I guess I need to also have my. What do you say?
I was gonna say, don't forget, you can get all of these shorts on the BCSN Pod Zone. In addition to what you did is like and share them on YouTube only. Not gonna put these on the book.
Yeah, no, not on the book. This is gonna be YouTube only and on the Pod Zone. So you got to go to YouTube app, or the Pod Zone and our app. Yeah, so those 3 things, and then I figure in 1 or maybe 2 of those 3 formats, if this is successful enough, maybe we find a way to transition it into something on a more regular, put it behind a paywall, and just some things that we're thinking about to go from there. So I started a timer, Drew. So I wanted to keep, we want to try to stay, we can get long-winded, or I can get long-winded, you can get long-winded, and we just kind of go off on a tangent. But there's 2 stories that we're going to try to tie together. And this can be dangerous. So already off the bat, we're not going to shy away from controversy right off the bat. But one of them is a professional story from professional sports. The other one is a college story, both regarding football. And so what we're talking about is we're going to talk a little bit about the latest in the DeShawn Watson saga. That's the only way I can kind of coin that. And then the mysterious lack of coverage that a story which really, kind of hit the radar a month ago, but really kind of hit the radar again. And that's what's coming out of Norfolk State University and the Norfolk State football program. So I'll be honest, Drew, in all full transparency, I only became aware of this story. I bumped into it on HBCU Game Day, a story written by Stephen Gaither back on June 3rd. And then the story's also on HBCU Sports. So, those are the two, those two sites do a great job on 24/7 in terms of just covering sports. And I think that's, those guys have committed full time to doing that, which, I mean, honestly, Drew, I think we're hopeful that one day we'll get to that point. But different lane for us. But anyway, so I first became of the story on HBCU Game Day. And the story I came across said, Norfolk State player attempted to rape teammate per lawsuit. I'm like, what? Like, what? And the sub-headline said, a second former Norfolk State football athlete is suing the school after he claims he was sexually assaulted. What? A second? So, yes. So I had to go back in and read the article. And as it states, this particular player is unidentified at the time. He claims
player number two.
Harassed.
Player
yes,
number
player
two.
Number two.
Player number one has come out. And that's probably not a good word to use, but player number one has identified himself. I told you it's gonna be fun up in here, man. He has identified
I was just trying to
himself.
set it up. I was just trying to set this up as quickly as I could. Time is of the essence. So anyway, second player comes out, says he was accused. He comes out 1 month after the first athlete. His name is Sean Fahey. He's an offensive lineman from the Virginia Beach area, which is right out, not far away from Norfolk State. It's where I was born and raised. My parents met, blah, blah, blah. And so it's all part of the Norfolk State footprint, right? He put name to his accusations on May 5th. Press conference and everything, where he alleges, and there's a lawsuit, that the university and the program, that teammates attempted to, this is tough. He says that a teammate attempted to rape him at a gathering at his house last fall, but another teammate intervened.
Hey, Bryan. Bryan, instead of trying to put that all paper to word, why don't we just go to the press conference?
Well, I wanted to set it up before it so that way people can know what's happening here before. Okay. So this is Sean Fahey and his statement on May 5th. What's the news station that we pulled this from? We want to make sure we give them proper credit. It is one of the local news stations there in Virginia, in Norfolk, rather.
This is what did I hear?
And there was a news conference on this. So
channel 13newsnow.com is where this video comes from.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and play. Now, what is this? How long is this, first off?
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
And what is this video? This is him.
This is Sean Fahey, excerpt. Right? This is Sean Fahey. This is excerpts from the press conference where him and his attorney spoke out about the allegations.
Play it. Audio. I don't hear anything. Is there audio playing? Is there any audio going out, Drew?
Let me start that over.
All right. Well, so that there's we'll try to get that squared away. Should I paraphrase here? Read any more of the article? So I'm going to read more of Gaither's article here. Back on May the 5th, when the initial statement was made, Fahey in his statement said that instead of in Norfolk State handling these incidents with compassion for me after I reported them, I was baited by coaches to rejoin the next day as if nothing ever happened. I was told by coaches I was risking my career. Then NSU made my pain worse by sharing sensitive information about the situation to the whole team. What a terrible decision it was for me to put my faith in safety in Norfolk State University when I accepted that football scholarship over others. Now, he was at this meeting with his lawyer, Diane Toscano, who says that, one, she's heard from other student athletes who reported similar experiences during the same period. And here's the kicker. There are coaches on the current staff that knew of the problems because the incidents happened right under their nose. Leaders must be questioned. Norfolk State leaders must be questioned about what they did to ensure the safety of student athletes. They must be held accountable, as evidence shows there were coaches on the current staff that were aware they inherited these problems from the previous staff.
We had the clip ready.
Current coach Dawson Odoms, former coach Latrell Scott. Play the clip, Drew.
We begin with breaking news. A former Norfolk State football player says his teammates sexually assaulted and harassed him.
Sean Fahey and his attorneys say coaches knew about it, and now they're demanding answers from the university. We want to let you know some of the details of this story may be disturbing. Eugene Daniel is live in Norfolk with
on the YouTube feed. You may have to turn the channel up, the volume up on the channel.
Yeah, Sean Fahey said he reported his concerns to Norfolk State Football.
All right, so this isn't quite going the way we thought, but this is a summer short. All right, keep going.
Coaches this past fall, he says coaches brushed.
Let's rewind that.
You're good. Go ahead. Just play. Come on.
We begin with breaking news. A former Norfolk State football player says his teammates sexually assaulted and harassed him.
Sean Fahey and his attorneys say coaches knew about it, and now they're demanding answers from the university. We want to let you know some of the details of this story may be disturbing. Eugene Daniel is live in Norfolk with more on these allegations. Eugene, a tough story here.
Yeah, Sean Fahey said he reported his concerns to Norfolk State football coaches this past fall. He says coaches brushed it off, and one told him he was risking his career. Fahey played high school football in Virginia Beach before signing to play with the Spartans. As a freshman last fall, he claims members of the team sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, and hazed him. Fahey's attorney, Diane Toscano, says the claims include players grabbing other players' genitals in front of coaches. She also says there are video recordings showing upperclassmen harassing freshman players in a sexual way. Now, Fahey and his attorney say they notified Norfolk State leaders about the complaint 10 months ago. They are demanding answers and accountability and asking other witnesses to come forward. Toscano says she's heard from other students, and they hope others are more willing to come forward because of Fahey's story.
I worried about having to defend myself physically from players who already had assaulted me. The bottom line was I feared for my safety.
Instead of prioritizing the safety of individual players by reporting these outrageous behaviors or disciplining the offenders, coaches simply and unconscionably warned one player, quote, "It will catch up with you."
Fahey is no longer enrolled at Norfolk State University. When I asked about any potential legal action, his attorney said they are exploring their options and we should learn more in the coming weeks. Live in Norfolk, Eugene Daniel, 13 News Now.
So again, that was 13newsnow.com. That was from 13 News. So, Drew, so what brought me to this is to say, wow, where's our coverage been? I mean, where is HBCU media's coverage? I mean, granted, again, HBCU Game Day covered it with a couple articles. I know HBCU Sports had an article in it, but have we had the discussion about it? I mean, this is a very taboo subject.
Definitely.
A very taboo subject.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
you send your child away to college, male or female, and there's a couple of things that you don't want to happen. And I'm going to get real with this. Number one, you don't want your child to come home in a box.
True.
That's number one. Number two, you don't want your child to be assaulted, either sexually or physically in other ways. So those are the things that you do. And I'm gonna say this: you don't want your child to come home pregnant or get someone pregnant, depending on the gender. Those are the three things when you send your child away to school that you don't want to have happen.
That's that's a good summary. Yeah, I because you're a parent, you sent your kids to school, and so you're talking from truth,
from experience, and this was the speech that I got.
Right.
You can't afford to have no babies while you're in school, which was very true.
No,
I couldn't even afford myself to have myself in school.
So look, the fact that it's a very taboo topic, right? And it's hard to talk about. Reading this, if you grew up when we did, there was this thing in middle school where you had to take showers after PE. See, nowadays, and I know this as a former PE teacher, our kids in middle school, they get dressed up in PE clothes, and then they run around, get sweaty, hot, blah, blah, blah.
And go to class.
And then we tell them to, cool down, get a drink of water, and then head back to class. Some of y'all musty and funky going back to class. We don't ask kids to go take a shower anymore. Most of the time, most schools don't have public showers. Well, but even then, guess what? All I remember is hearing about, oh man, you better hope you don't get so-and-so as a PE teacher, because he gonna stand there at the door while you shower and hand you a towel when you come out the shower. And you're already thinking, what? You're like, that's not what I do at home. I'm at home and I take a shower.
I have the privacy. Yes.
Yeah. So there was that ritual of, you didn't want to get popped with a towel, but little things like that scarred some people.
Don't drop the soap. Don't drop the soap.
Look. There were many, but that was boys being boys. I'm sure there were very traumatizing moments for a lot of people in middle school, which is why they don't do public showers in schools. But guess what? When you're part of a team and you sweat, I would imagine if public showers are available, you're probably wise to.
On the collegiate level, they are essentially required. You don't go back to class, dorm, smelling like the gym or the football field. At least from my experience having coached at the collegiate level. But what disturbs me about this, Brian, being a coach, you are in a position of leadership, of respect. You're a father figure or mother figure, and you are expected to act in the best interest of your university, of your program, and of that child. Somebody, somewhere in Virginia Beach, sent that child to Norfolk State to get an education. Mm-hmm. They trusted you with their child. And you, as a school, as a coaching staff, have failed this child. Is that
this is clearly
18-year-old
on Dawson
freshman
Odom's staff. Dawson
probably
Odoms,
first time away from home. Even though he's right up the road, he's still not home.
Right.
You could be in college in the same city and still not be home because of the differences. Now, Norfolk did issue a statement, and I read it, and I quote, "Norfolk State University cares about the safety and well-being of every student, faculty, and staff member. We have a, quote, culture of care, unquote, at the institution, and we work diligently to address the needs of our community. NSU is aware of allegations regarding the conduct of NSU football program and immediately launched an investigation when the matter was reported. Subsequently, NSU acquired the services of an external consulting firm, Rebecca Littman Wiedlinger Esquire, PLLC. This firm specializes in investigating and adjudicating allegations of violations of Title IX, including harassment, sexual misconduct, and assault. The firm is currently investigating the allegations. The university is prohibited by federal law from disclosing any information about any investigations involving students. We acknowledge that this can make it difficult for members of the public wanting to know more information. We encourage anyone with any information regarding sexual misconduct, harassment, or any form of discrimination to please contact the Office of Institution Equity and their phone number is given. Norfolk State, signed Norfolk State University. Now,
that's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's the cookie cutter statement. I'm gonna go back to you. If this was a male student doing this to a female student, that student would have been suspended.
Oh,
and put off the university. But because it's same sex, boy on boy, girl on girl, it's brushed off. Despite the fact that it is officially, it's hazing. Number one.
First off, yes.
It's hazing. Number two, it's just damn nasty. It's just plain old nasty, bro. I mean,
let's.
I mean, you trying to have an orgy with another with one of your teammates while everybody else is looking on. That's essentially what this is. He went to college, not to jail.
Well, hey! Now look what month it is now. You know, with this being Pride Month, you know, I guess you can be free to do all that other stuff. You know, if that's who you are.
But you got to have two willing participants, Brian.
Oh, you got to have consent, right?
Obviously, participant number two was not willing.
Okay, let me bring let's because we're running over our time.
But we get out of here.
Yeah, see, already we're going over what we planned. So anyway, the thing about this, Fahey falls under this young man, Sean Fahey, standout offensive lineman at Ocean Lakes in Virginia Beach. He was part of a recruiting class that signed in December of 2020 with Latrell Scott. Scott left Norfolk State in March of 2021 to move over to East Carolina. Dawson Odoms took over. So if you listen into that quote from his lawyer, you've got coaches from Coach Scott's staff who are now part of Dawson Odom's staff who knew this kind of stuff was going on, right? And it's a head scratcher that this falls clearly now as Dawson Odom's problem because she said there were more. And yeah, a second athlete came forward, which means now the doors are open. The doors are open to blow this whole thing up. I'll be interested to see
institutional control is coming.
Yeah, so
for Norfolk State, if this was something else, the head coach would have been put on administrative leave while
that may be coming. I'm speculating. I'm clearly speculating here, Drew, but if nobody talks about it, there may not be a buzz. Now, I'm not out saying that hey, Dawson Odoms needs to be, put out on blast and this needs to be, but this is occurring on your watch. Here we are in this day and age, and let's juxtapose this against what I was going to and saying the DeShawn Watson story saga in the professional ranks. Look at how that story is being covered. Here is a professional athlete who I want to be, how do I say this? A professional athlete who paid for massages.
He has an unhealthy fetish.
Yeah, there you go. He had, well, some people, he's a freak. He's freaky. People might say weird, creepy. He's freaky. He likes being touched while he's getting a massage. He likes to be touched in certain places. He likes multiple people touching him. He doesn't, even though he has a beautiful girlfriend, fiance, that's not enough. There's a report in ESPN that from, what does this report say? From the fall of 2019 to the spring of 2021, Drew, that he made appointments with at least 66 different women over 17 months. Now, I love the fact that...
You know what that would be called, Brian, in my neighborhood?
What was that?
Use a hoe.
Who? Watson?
Yes.
Yeah, well, he's a massage hoe. Yeah, maybe. That's, I guess so. But look, in that list of the 66, you've got the 24 lawsuits that are out there. You got women who have filed complaints. You even got women who signed and said he did nothing wrong. We agreed to whatever he wanted to do. There are even women. Now, look, the one thing that came true in all of this, there's even women. How do I read this? The one article, the one. I'm gonna clean this up as best as I can, because as I'm reading this report, Drew, what happened? Oh, wait a minute, that's an ad. Sorry, ESPN ad. Yes. Okay. A few additional women spoke publicly for the first time. This is, I guess, something that's coming out in the New York Times, right? As now, where I'm going with this is the chase is on to see how much of a freak can we prove DeShawn Watson is? Because it's already been said in a couple of criminal cases that have been filed against him that nothing criminal happened. Why is that? Because DeShawn Watson paid for a massage. He paid every one of these women. He paid them. Nobody has come out and said that he forced anybody to do anything. Hell, there's one girl that said he actually begged her for services. I'm just going to put it like that. He begged, quote unquote, begging.
Begged her for oral service. Begged her for oral service.
I'm like, begging? I mean, really? That's where we're going these days? We're bringing it down to that level. So anyway, the salaciousness of this whole story, and then the audacity of the Cleveland Browns to want to pay him $230 million is got people's head just blown up. When really our attention and our eyes, Drew, should really be looking over at Norfolk State and Dawson Odoms and his staff and that program. Not at DeShawn Watson
and these young men who don't have the wherewithal to do something.
Yeah, we're talking
these other things.
Look, I'm gonna get in trouble. No, so I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna catch myself. No football player goes into the locker room expecting to be with his quote unquote brothers and get held down on a bed and dry humped. That ain't part of the deal that you sign up for when you sign up to play football, when you sign that national letter of intent, is it? Is that in the fine print down there at the bottom of the page?
No.
Hey, there might be hazing. You might get sexually assaulted by your teammates, but at the end of the day, the goal is to come together as a team
and win a national championship.
Win a national title. That's not in the fine print. Not in the fine print. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring this out.
Brian,
why is this keep happening? I guess ESPN is so.
This is the same generation. This is the same generation of kids in general who don't have the respect that they need to. Hey, these kids will roll up a blunt in your face and don't even care. In general, that's the mentality. That's the mentality of these kids.
No, where are you going with that? I don't understand that comparison. I don't follow you there.
Because they feel entitled, empowered, and they don't have the. I think some of them.
Drew, assault. Hey, Drew, hazing and male. Drew, how many stories have we seen in these fraternities where guys have been sticking canes and wood up pledgees' buttholes? That's been going on for decades, Drew. 30 years since I've known about college. I mean, trust me, we've heard those stories. This ain't new. These are deviants. These are deviants who need some Jesus in their life. That's what I'm just saying. This is deviant. This is deviant, devilish behavior, and you can't have this in your organization. You can't have this on your team. So let's not put it on this generation, Drew. Let's not do that to these kids. These kids are a lot of things, but
fair.
Sick has been happening for decades, Drew. Sick and devilish behavior has been going on for decades, right?
Fair. I'll give you that.
All right.
I'll give you that.
So I guess let's end this on this. I thought the one positive that may come out of this, and there's more that has to come in. Drew, I feel like we have to, I am going to make it a conscious effort to stay aware of what's going on with this case. Maybe even we reach out to Mr. Fahey or Ms. Toscana, but I'm interested in, she started what she said, a nonprofit called Goal Line Stand Together. GOLLINE standtogether.org. Standing against sexual assault and hazing in football. Our mission, dedicated to raising awareness and eradicating the problem of sexual assault and hazing in U.S. football. Wow. Now, again, the touchy, taboo subject of this, you don't see a lot of football coaches running to go be a part of this board right now, right? you won't. I'm just telling you right now, there's not a lot of coaches that are running to go be a part of this because this is a very taboo subject. One of those unspoken things. We don't talk about certain things. But in our community, Drew, we've got to start we're talking about mental health, and we want kids to be okay talking about things. Well, it starts here at this age so they don't grow up as adults in midlife crisis that all of a sudden have been holding down emotions, and all of a sudden it just blows out of their mind, and all of a sudden, they're running around in sports cars and being on the down low and doing all other kind of ridiculousness because they didn't talk about things back when they were in college. I mean, so I feel like we have to sort of pay attention to this story more and do a good job of highlighting this. And I'm interested to see how long Dawson Odom survives this, because this may start to look like the whole Baylor story, which got ugly, but it wasn't really just a football story. It was really a campus-wide problem. So while the focus right now is on football, Drew, it'll be interesting to see if the entire campus of Norfolk State University comes under some kind of scrutiny for their culture, because this may be happening in the football program, but if students know about it, and they said, Drew,
that's not the only place it's happening on their campus.
Drew, she said this has been going on for 10 months, or this has been known for about 10 or 11 months.
Well, it's 11 months now because the article came out in May, so this is another month since then.
That means the football season, Drew. That means the football season. So as Dawson Odom and Norfolk State was starting their football season, this was known. This very well could have happened in fall camp, Drew. Think about that. All right.
Let's pick up the show and get out of here.
That's going to do it for our summer short number 1. A little bit longer than we thought short, but that's where we go. If you have any comments or suggestions, drop us a line. How do we want people to reach us if they have some thoughts on this, Drew? What's the best route?
Leave it in the comment section. We'll leave the comments open.
All right. Handle yourselves responsibly in those comment sections if you would. Let us know what you think. We'll come back tomorrow with another summer short. Yeah, Drew, I'll let Drew handle that. I'm not censoring anything. Let Drew censor. Now, I mean, Drew stopped me from playing a certain sound clip, but rightfully so. Rightfully so. I was about to hit the button, Drew, but I didn't. So thankfully, no. Responsibility. We'll be responsible. That's going to do it for this summer short. Hey, thanks for checking us out. We'll be back tomorrow with another topic. Maybe we'll be a little lighter tomorrow than today. Maybe. All right. For A.D. Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Thanks for listening. We're out of here. Peace out.
Holla.